Okay, everybody, welcome back. Part 4 of DSP versus the Internet, episode 59. Let's jump right into the next video.
When I say the words one-hit wonder, what comes to mind?
Oh yeah, her song was huge and you never heard of her ever again. Oh, I forgot about that song. Oh yeah. I remember this one too, Closing Time. Oh, I don't even remember this song. Oh, I don't know this song either.
I have an obsession with one-hit wonders, with the concept, with a lot of the songs themselves, why and how they happen, etc. For anyone completely unaware of what I'm talking about right now, a one-hit wonder is basically when a band or a musician has one super popular song, and that's the only song that most people have ever heard by them.
Right.
You know Bad Day by Daniel Powter?
Oh yeah. This is huge. This song was only huge because it was on American Idol. It got put on American Idol and everyone heard it, and then they started playing it on the radio. It was like non-stop crazy in the mid-2000s.
Or Absolutely by 9 Days.
Oh, I remember this one too.
What about Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba?
Oh yeah, this is the only song anyone ever knew from Chumbawamba. That's definitely true. 100%.
I would guess that most people are very familiar with these tracks, they can sing a bunch of the lyrics, but 99% of the people that know these songs would not be able to tell me another song by Daniel Powter, 9 Days, or Chumbawamba.
No, interestingly enough, most people can't even tell you the bands at all. Like, who the fuck would remember Chumbawamba? You remember the song. I remember I get knocked down, but I get up again. What's it called? I don't know. It was called Tub Thumping. That lyric's not even in the song. So no one would even know. I didn't know that song was Daniel Powter. I never even heard of him before.
What a one-hit wonder is. A more literal definition is that a one-hit wonder is any musician who only has one song break the top 40 within their career. But I have a couple of problems with that. When it comes to less iconic tracks and musicians, it's very possible that people could sneak into the top 40 for 1 week and never be heard from again without a majority of the population even noticing. I'm looking at a Wikipedia list of one-hit wonders right now, and I expected to know every single example from the 2010s, but what in the world is Pray For You by Duran and the Long Road to Love?
I pray your brakes go out running down a hill.
There are probably many examples of songs like this that may technically qualify as one-hit wonders, but they didn't really leave any kind of lasting mark whatsoever. From my perspective, these non-memorable examples don't really count. And then on the other end of the spectrum, some of the most iconic bands and musicians of all time technically qualify as one-hit wonders, and that doesn't really work for me either. Jimi Hendrix with All Along the Watchtower, Grateful Dead with Touch of Grey, Public Enemy with Give It Up, Weezer with Beverly Hills, and the list goes on. I don't know about you, but none of these feel like one-hit wonders to me. And I think that idea of something feeling like a one-hit wonder is a huge part of why people are so obsessed with them. There's something about the musical novelty of these tracks that makes them so fascinating to me. They feel like strange artifacts that you can already see fading into the night while they're still at the height of their popularity. When I was growing up and I heard the song I'm Awesome by Spose, it was a funny track that 13-year-old me had a good time with, but even at the time, there was no part of me that was like, yo, when am I gonna get to hear more Spose? I need more Spose in my life immediately. This kind of thing has happened to me numerous times throughout my life, and I imagine it's been the same sort of feeling for people throughout decades and decades. This is the overtly goofy or extremely bizarre kind of one-hit wonder that entertained people for a little while, but these musicians were never gonna make a career that built off of that one song. Stuff like Barbie Girl by Aqua, the aforementioned Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba, Who Let the Dogs Out by the Baha Men, and more recently, something like What Does the Fox Say by Ilvis. Yes, basically every single song associated with a dance that you do at weddings and school dances can get thrown in this category too. Think Macarena by Los Del Rio, Teach Me How to Dougie by Cali Swag District, Watch Me by Silento. You know what I'm talking about. But that kind of one-hit wonder makes a lot of sense, right? These catchy, silly tracks are fun for the time that they blow up, and it can be amusing to look back on their short-lived fame, But
Was that what was it, Baha Men or whatever, Who Let the Dogs Out? Yeah. I feel like the true essence of a one-hit wonder, it's a band that made a song that for the time fit perfectly, but it wouldn't fit into any other time frame, right? Like a lot of rock music that I used to listen to in the 90s was good in the 90s, but when you listen to it now, it's like, it's like it was a different era. It's good for nostalgia to remember that era, but it doesn't fit today. So if that band were to come back and make music today, it wouldn't work. I mean, take a look at Smashing Pumpkins. In the 90s, they were giant, and now they make music and no one cares. You know? I think that's the true hit of a one-hit wonder. You hit culturally at one point, boom. It was funny because Darjak said in the chat, what about like Psy, who had his one big hit, Gangnam Style, then he, like, maybe you remember one other song and then he disappeared. Well, in Korea, he's huge. In Korea, he's one of the biggest pop stars of all time, and he actually has the most viewed ever K-pop songs ever on YouTube. Like his top, he's the big one with Gangnam Style, and then there's others that are in like the top 50 that he did. But outside of Korea, no one has heard Psy except for Gangnam Style. So that's another thing. Like he's a one-hit wonder around the world, but in Korea, he's still huge. So it's cultural deals as well, like where you are in the world geographically.
Novelty that gained them that popularity, not the quality of the songs themselves. Also, human beings can be pretty cruel. The explanation of people made fun of it for a little while, then threw it in the trash as soon as they were done with it is sad, but realistic.
Yep.
So what about the other kind of one-hit wonder? When a musician made a good song, it deservingly blew up, but then they still faded into obscurity even though a ton of people agreed that they were super talented. To give an example, if you're a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, you know that these soundtracks are incredible. But what I'm guessing most people don't realize is that some of these songs are one-hit wonders, and they're also some of the best songs I've ever heard. Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum, Ooh Child by Five Stairsteps, Brandy by Looking Glass. If you're like me, when you heard these songs in the movies, you were thinking to yourself, man, these are some of the legends of the 60s and 70s. But no, Spirit in the Sky and Ooh Child are both on Rolling Stone's list of the greatest songs ever made, so how are these musicians one-hit wonders?
Wow.
If they're talented and people loved the song so much, how come they didn't get a full budding career with a ton of hit songs? And to give you some more examples of this kind of high-quality one-hit wonder, Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest, Tainted Love by Soft Cell, Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve, and what I think is one of the best songs of the 2010s, Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier. How are these songs so good, but that's all people know when we talk about those musicians? I find it hard to believe that every good one-hit wonder musician was just a fluke. They made that one good song, and then all their other music paled in comparison.
Well, it could be some different situations, as we've seen sometimes in these style videos. I think this is the same guy. Sometimes they made a song that was meant to be a parody of something, but then it became popular for being what they were trying to be a parody and say wasn't good, right? So imagine you make a party song. It's the only party song you've ever made, and you hate party songs, but you're trying to make fun of party songs. That becomes popular. All your real music no one cares about. They just wanted another party song. You know, sometimes it has to do with the intelligence of fucking humans being dumb as shit and not understanding the artist, right? It's true, you know? I actually did buy a few one-hit wonder albums when I was in the 90s, and then you would hear a few other songs from them that I really liked. There was a few bands that I liked. Cake. You ever heard the band Cake? Where only one or two of their songs were like really popular, but I liked almost all the songs on their albums. What was the other one? I can't remember the other one. There's another band that said that was exactly the case, where you only ever heard one song on the radio, but if you bought the album, it was good. But for some reason, the other songs never got traction. Yeah.
That happens, but that can't be the catch-all explanation. I imagine that for a lot of one-hit wonders, it's a perfect storm of complications. People that get too famous too quickly and let the power get to their heads. Musicians that never really wanted fame to begin with, they just wanted to make music, but now their entire lives are dedicated to people yelling at them to play that one song. Right. The pressure of living up to a huge song that was one of the first things they ever released. Naive musicians getting manipulated by record executives that soon lose all their creative thinking. Maybe people just lack that hunger of making another big hit after they finally get one. But here's why I'm making this video. I don't really think that one-hit wonders are a thing anymore, or at the very least, they've been on a sharp decline for the last 5 years or so. This is not my sole evidence, but I think it's worth mentioning that this Wikipedia list of one-hit wonders that I've been looking at stops at 2017, and even this example of Feel It Still by Portugal the Man seems pretty weak when we discuss that feeling of a one-hit wonder. I found another list that says that The Middle by Zedd and Maren Morris is the most recent one-hit wonder, but from my perspective, both Zedd and Maren Morris are pretty ingrained in their respective genres. So what gives? Why is this concept of the one-hit wonder that we know and love disappearing before our very eyes? I think that it comes down to two main things: social media and the fact that the music industry is basically broken at this point in time. I say social media is a big factor because in this day and age, you can capitalize off of your 15 minutes of fame in a way that simply was not possible 20 years ago. In the age of the internet, we have this weird Black Mirror-esque reality where you can do one thing that can get you a little bit of clout, and boom, hundreds of thousands of supporters that you can update and stay in touch with every single day with the click of a button. Just think about it. If you were a one-hit wonder before social media existed, you didn't really have control over how the general viewing public perceived and interacted with you.
That's true.
Hopefully your label did enough to market you and get you TV and radio appearances, but for so many musicians, their labels weren't doing enough. Now with social media, you can take that 15 minutes of fame and nurture the supporters you get from it. You can keep them entertained, you can play them snippets, you're showing them your personality, you're creating a deeper bond with them than any of the one-hit wonders in the 90s did with a few Instagram stories alone. You know Designer, the guy that made Panda? That's one of the more prominent examples of a recent one-hit wonder, but Designer is doing great right now. I haven't heard any music he's dropped in years, but the guy has 2.5 million followers on Instagram. He has endorsements, he has sponsorships, but more importantly, he has a strong fan base of people that will continue to keep up with him and then support whatever he's putting out. And that idea of fans being able to support you is a good transition into the music industry being absolute chaos. Besides social media sponsorships or musicians selling merch, whatever, the concept of streaming has given power to the people and musicians.
Right, and so we already talked about this with television shows as well. One-hit wonders used to be one-hit wonders because how did you digest your music? It was either you heard it on the radio, you heard it or saw it in a music video, right? Like that was the thing. Now, all this music services are streaming, so now it just feels like everyone has gone off into their own little micro genres to listen to what they like, but there's no crossover and no feeling of this is the big song, this is the big show, this is the big movie anymore. Everyone is just in their own lane doing their own thing. So how can you be a one-hit wonder when there's no one focal point where everyone can hear your music anymore? It can't even happen. Instead, what you're just going to have is people who are prominent in each genre, but you're never going to have that one giant pop song anymore. Okay, cool. Let's continue because I want to watch at least 1 or 2 more videos before we split the part, but we're running behind on time. So
hey, this is Edge, the Rated R Superstar. You're watching
5 years ago.
the Inside the Ropes YouTube channel. Like and subscribe.
Oops. Well, I backed out, which tends to happen. I've done this before. Look at all the random videos that get into my feed from watching this show. It's like the most random shit that happens if I just let YouTube play. All right, let me get that back. I accidentally backed out. I didn't mean to do that. I hate when I fucking do that. Stupid. Let's see. If I hit refresh, did it work? It did. Okay, I didn't know how to do it. Okay, stupid. He now goes by Adam Copeland. Yeah, because he left WWE and now he's in AEW or whatever, so he has to go by his real name now, right? Okay.
And subscribe.
Cena and Batista were in there last, right? And everyone remembers that they went out at the same time, and it's like, uh-oh. What you might not remember is I was the 3rd last competitor in there. So,
I skipped it by accident. There was a Royal Rumble where it was John Cena and Dave Bautista. Yes, Dave Bautista, who went on to be the actor in Guardians of the Galaxy. They were the last two in a match called the Royal Rumble. And the way that you win is you eliminate everyone by knocking them over the top rope. So the two of them were going over. There was supposed to be a definitive winner, but they accidentally like screwed it up. And so Vince came out, and historically it's crazy. He hurt himself bad coming out when this happened. So that's what he's talking about, this match.
Eliminated. I'm going down the starting to get up and go down the ramp, and I see them both land. I went, oh shit. This is gonna be interesting. Here's what's crazy. They hit simultaneous. Like, you could not map that out.
Yeah, and that wasn't supposed to happen.
I'm still walking to the back, and I just see that pompadour come power walking out. Like, Vince has a power walk anyway, but this thing was like next level power walk. This was like a Thanos power walk, like, wah, like eating worlds, and I just went, oh no. Oh, good Lord. Now, Vince is not the most athletic man in the world. Like, he's kind of like a newborn colt on ice. He just, like, you can just tell, like, he's strong. He can lift weights, but I wouldn't put him in a basketball game, you know? So, I get through the curtain, and all I see is him go to dive in, go to stand up, and just, oh, this is odd. Those guys are standing in the ring. Now he's sitting there. Huh. Go to get up. Oh. He tore both quads. Yeah. Like.
Well, I already know this story. Vince McMahon, this wasn't supposed to happen. The ending of the match was scripted that either John Cena or Batista was supposed to win, but it botched. Like, they hit the ground at the same time. And this is one of their biggest matches of the year. So you need to have the story be told properly. So Vince was coming out acting super pissed, and he was going to be like, okay, like restart the match or whatever to have the proper ending. But he's so angry as he comes out, he's walking so hard, he rips both of his legs, like his muscles in his legs, detached from his bones, because he walked so hard and he couldn't get up. He couldn't sit up in the ring. He was completely like almost paralyzed. He couldn't get out. It was like so bad. Well, that's the story. I don't know why this is like going on. What else is he going to say for the next 2 minutes? I have no idea. Let's go to the next video.
So if you look here, we've gained marginal growth in Q3, weight against Q2. Although our projections in Q4 are modest, our growth patterns remain consistently consistent.
Are we still aligned to hit our revenue targets if we maintain the current model?
Well, as you know, Mr. Henderson, it's no secret that
What the hell?
is the current driving factor to our market success.
The wave?
It's safe to say that we'll continue to perform positively with all our key demographics. Granted, while profit margins remain razor thin, the trajectory of this little arrow is still technically up.
I look super
So
slightly.
as long as we continue and we don't change a single thing.
Excuse me. I have an idea.
Who let the intern speak?
Well, I was just thinking.
For the first time. No, seriously, Jacob, why don't you go bake us a coffee?
Come on, Richards. Give the boy a shot.
Okay.
Well, what if we I just thought what if we just
He's like, huh? Huh?
Huh. Do that again.
This is so stupid. Is that really it? That's the whole joke. That's the whole joke.
Okay.
Mr. Henderson, you're not seriously considering. Instead of. We've been doing. For 15 years.
Let's see Jacob's one last.
So stupid.
No.
I like it. Excellent work, Jacob.
Thank you, sir.
You know what? Consider yourself promoted.
Oh my
So
God.
dumb.
And as for Richards, you're getting promoted. You're all getting promoted.
Duh. But if everyone gets promoted, does it matter? How could you all get promoted? How could you all be getting paid more money? Oh my god. Anyway, that was silly. Let's do one more and then we'll split the part.
From the
Oh, it's only a
makers
minute.
of one of the most successful dramas in recent history comes the follow-up series, The Slap.
Oh, we saw the
Part
slap
2.
last year where he just slaps everybody.
They'd already
Right?
started repairs, so we couldn't even take it anywhere else.
Yeah, shit the way they do that.
Tell me about it. 2.5 grand later, and then... Hey, what's going on?
It's mine, Daddy. Noah keeps taking away from me.
Noah, give it back.
No.
Noah, give it back.
No.
I said give it back now. Noah!
Larry, what the hell are you doing?
Larry!
Larry, you can't just... Oh,
Larry! Oh, are you all right? How did...
Larry!
Righto, what's going on here?
Sir, I'm arrested. Oh.
It's basically exactly the same. It didn't even change. They didn't even change it. It's like exactly the same as the first one.
The Slap, Part 2, coming soon to Foxtel.
123 million views. Holy shit. 123 million views. I mean, the first one was probably the same. Like, there was an argument in the yard, remember? And the guy just starts slapping people, and everyone tries to interfere and gets slapped too. Oh, my. All right. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching DSP versus the Internet. Let's split the part. When we come back... Oh, by the way, that got claimed. I'm not even kidding you. That little 1-minute clip just got claimed. So I'm glad that it's over. All right. Let's split the part when we come back. Actually, we have a Q&A this week, which we haven't had in many, many weeks. So we'll do that. And then we'll continue on. Thanks, guys. See you in the next part.